Chapter 6. Oppositosis. Eric Evans wasn't the only one who had noticed that Kathy had become nice. Others, too, began to notice her odd behavior. "I like your picture," Kathy told Bebe. "What's wrong with it?" Bebe asked. "Nothing," said Kathy. "It's perfect. You are very talented." It took Bebe a moment to realize that Kathy hadn't insulted her. Mrs. Jules also noticed the change. "Kathy, will you come here, please?" she asked. Kathy approached her teacher's desk. "Yes, Mrs. Jules?" she asked. Mrs. Jules smiled. "You have been doing very well, Kathy," she said. "I've noticed a real improvement in your work and in your attitude." "That must be because you're such a good teacher," said Kathy. "Well, thank you," said Mrs. Jules, "but there's a tiny little problem. I'm having a hard time reading your homework." "What do you mean?" "Look at it," said Mrs. Jules, showing Kathy her most recent homework assignment. "What's wrong with it?" asked Kathy. "First thing we learned in psychiatrist school," Dr. Pickle said as he patted DJ on the head. "My hiccups are all gone," DJ told Kathy. "Who cares?" Kathy grumbled. "Would you mind stepping inside my office, young lady?" asked Dr. Pickle. "But he's the sicko," said Kathy, pointing at DJ. "Please," said Dr. Pickle. She entered the counselor's office. "That beard is really ugly. I guess your face must be even worse, huh?" Dr. Pickle didn't get angry. He just stroked his beard and said, "Very interesting." Kathy sniffed. "Smells like pickles," she commented. "Very interesting indeed," the counselor said, and then asked her to sit down. Kathy sat on the couch. "Lumpy," she complained. "I'm going to try a little experiment," said Dr. Pickle. "I'm going to say a word, and then I want you to say the first word that pops into your head." "Not smart," said Kathy. "I haven't started yet," said Dr. Pickle. "Sloppy," said Kathy. Dr. Pickle realized he had better hurry up and get started. "Cold," he began. "Hot," Kathy replied. "Hard." "Soft." "Skinny." "Fat." "This is kind of fun, isn't it, Kathy?" asked Dr. Pickle. "No, it's boring," said Kathy. "Worse than I thought," said Dr. Pickle. "I studied your condition in psychiatrist school. I'm afraid you have a bad case of oppositosis." "No, I don't. You do." Dr. Pickle stroked his beard. Unfortunately, there was no known cure for oppositosis. Other psychiatrists had tried to help their patients learn to be kind and think positively. Dr. Pickle knew that would never work on Kathy. He had his own theory, however. He could try to turn her opposites into double opposites. He opened his desk drawer and took out his pickle stone and chain. Kathy watched the green stone as it gently swung back and forth. She fell asleep on the count of 5. "Can you hear me, Kathy?" he asked. "And I can smell you too," she replied. "You are looking into a mirror," he told her. "I'm looking into a mirror," Kathy repeated, eyes closed. "Tell me what you see." "I see a beautiful girl with black hair," she said, "and I see a funny-looking man with a pointy beard." "Very good," said Dr. Pickle. "Now I want you to reach out and touch the mirror." Kathy slowly moved her arm. "But as you try to touch it," said Dr. Pickle, "you'll discover the mirror isn't solid. Your hand will go right through it." Kathy stuck her hand out farther. "That's weird," she said. "Now stand up and walk through the mirror." Kathy stood up. She took one step, then another. She hesitated for a moment, and then took one last step. "Amazing!" she exclaimed. "You are on the other side of the mirror," said Dr. Pickle. "What do you see?" Kathy looked around. "Nice office," she said. She sniffed. "Smells nice, too." "I'm glad you like it," said Dr. Pickle. "Would you like to sit on the couch?" Kathy sat back down. "Very comfortable," she noted. When I count to 3, you will wake up, but you will still be on the other side of the mirror. 1, 2, 3. Kathy opened her eyes. How do you feel? He asked her. Fine, thanks, said Kathy. How are you? Very well, thank you, said Dr. Pickle. Do you mind if we continue with our little experiment? Sounds like fun, said Kathy. Happy, said Dr. Pickle. Smile, said Kathy. Smart, said Dr. Pickle. Mrs. Jules, said Kathy. Friend, said Dr. Pickle. DJ, said Kathy. Dr. Pickle led her to the door. Thank you, Dr. Pickle, she said, shaking his hand. You are very wise, and I like your beard. What's wrong with my homework? Asked Kathy. It's written backward, said Mrs. Jules. Every sentence, every word, every letter, even the numbers are backward. Looks normal to me, said Kathy. Do you want me to do it over? Mrs. Jules sighed. No, that's all right, Kathy. I'm just happy to see you doing so well. I'll figure it out. And so now, written in the book, every letter is backwards and the sentence is written backwards. It says, Kathy smiled and then returned to her seat.